Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I would like to welcome you back on YouTube. Spirit Teachers of Going Within Self. I'm unable to be live on TikTok, however, I am recording it for you, and I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I recommend, suggest, and I really encourage you all to read the description on my YouTube channel, Spirit Teachers of Going Within Self, to get a better understanding of what it is that I do bring forward on my channel. As you can see, I have something behind me today because I come in and talk about a lot of different things, and I put a video up today on my TikTok, and they gave me what they said was my first warning. Here, let me show you what they. Okay, so see, so okay, this here. Oh, sorry, that was the says video removed. Warning received. You've received a warning for your first violation. The next violation will result in a strike. Okay. And then first warning, and then it shows the image of what one was violated. Well, here is the video. Violate regarding what is it? Truth and the story forward because it affects the narrative. Tell those people that. Well, this doesn't give a very loud sound. But this is what I got violated for. I put up a TikTok video regarding it. Now, see, yeah, we're going to go here because this is what we're talking about. Okay. See, I got a violation probably because of this, because they said it was misinformation. How is it misinformation? Because if I'm giving misinformation, then I guess it's the government giving the misinformation. See, that's the government of Canada. Justice and Law's website. So I got a violation for that. Okay. And a lot of people, they're saying about all the wildfires breaking out. Okay. I'll be honest. What they've been finding out is a lot of the wildfires have actually been caused by arson. Okay. They say it's climate change. It's climate change. No, it's actually this. It's weather modification. Now, if you go walk in the woods, okay, you get caught walking in the woods or on a trail or what have you, what happens? They say that you get a 200 or a $25,000 to $30,000 fine, right? And possibly 6 months in jail. Now, just give me 1 second. I should have it. I thank my lawyer, really appreciate it, because he ended up giving me the criminal code pocketbook. Okay, they are violating your life, liberty, and security of person. They're violating your your human rights, and people are like, "No, they're not. No, they're not." Yes, they are. Yes, they are. What? Because you don't want to go in the woods, or you figure, everybody else should walk as a soldier? Fall in line. Now, people can throw shit at me all you want. Hey, it even has Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, consolidation of constitutional act, consolidation of constitution act, French Constitution drafting committee. Hey, so you're going to tell me I'm wrong? Let's see. We'll go. You won't believe a criminal code. Okay, the criminal code says in Section 2, under the Constitution Act, fundamental freedoms, freedom of science and religion. Well, that's being violated. Freedom of thought, belief, opinion, and expression, including freedom of the press and other media of communication. Well, freedom of thought and belief and opinion of and expression. Okay, so what I'm bringing forward is my opinion, what I'm seeing, but it's not just my opinion. It's actually something from the government website. So it's not fake news, and it's not misinformation. But people on my TikTok will go and say that I'm violating things, but I'm not. I'm not violating any. But people will throw shit at me, and you'll go in and you'll report my TikTok channel. You'll report it without even having your own facts. So you would write you because you have nothing better to do with your time because you're a troll or you're a bot, and you just don't like the person who's doing it. Maybe they've got more views than you, or maybe they have more followers than you, or maybe they bring a whole other different type of content because you have it's drilled in your head that everything that is all climate change. Let's read the act. Okay? Weather Modification Information Act. An act to provide for the obtaining of information respecting weather modification activities. Now, you keep in mind, you step foot in the woods, which, I think the police and the RCMP should be doing better things with their time than worrying about passing out a fine because somebody went in the woods. People are being raped, killed, murdered, and they're being trafficked. Children are going missing. And you're going out and you're giving someone a fine. Should four-wheelers and motor vehicles not be traveling in the woods? No, because there's more chance. Should we be smoking in the woods? No. It's called common sense. But walking is not doing anything. It's just about control. You might be questioning, like, what don't they want you to see? What's lingering in the woods that they don't want you knowing about? So because somebody smokes, it wrecks it for everybody else because those people might go smoke. But you'll say about the firefighters, it's not the people who's putting the firefighters in jeopardy. It's the ones running your system that's doing this weather modification. But you won't get that, will you? How many of you realize how much funding they've taken back from the fire department? I bet you don't know that, do you? I bet you don't know that when they had the Hammond's Plains wildfire, you didn't. Did you know that that was set by a human? Did you know that other retired firefighters were wanting to come and help fight, and they had over 200 years experience between all of them? And then this time, just before before all the fires started, what happened? Didn't your prime minister, your premier, send 25 firefighters to New Brunswick to fight their fires? And then all of a sudden, Nova Scotia just lit up? But you won't look at that, right? You'll just look at me like, you're just a problem. They don't like you. Well, just because you don't like someone, does that mean that you put other people's lives in jeopardy from knowing the actual truth instead of fighting with one another and realize that you're fighting against principalities? Short title. This act may be called as the Weather Modification Information Act interpretation. In this act, administrator means such member of the public service as may be designated by the governor in council. Okay, so it's a member of the public service. Remember, every time I mention administrator, it's a member of the public service. Weather modifications activity includes any action designated, designed, or intended to produce by physical or chemical means changes in the composition or dynamics of the atmosphere for the purpose of increasing, decreasing, or redistributing perception, decreasing or suppressing hail or lightning, or dispensing fog or cloud. Okay? So you heard that, right? Keeping it from it happening. So if they can prevent storms from destroying your coasts, destroying your homes, causing mass floods, and destroying everything in its path, causing fire destruction. But you won't look at that, will you? And my question is, how ignorant are you to the truth? You know, people will look and take offense to the word ignorant, when ignorant actually is the lack of knowledge. So information, administrator to be informed, okay? The information. So you're to be informed when you're going to do this. So your government knows that the past month and a half, almost all summer, you got no rain, right? Not being rude, but are any of you really like, do you really believe that in a month and a half, 2 months, there's been no, there wouldn't be rain? Where any person proposes to engage in weather modification activities in Canada The person shall, in such form, a manner as may be prescribed, submit to the administrator, a public service representative, such information as may be prescribed respecting that person and the weather modification activities in which it is proposed to engage. So people of power, authority, they can do whatever they want, right? And then they can blame it on climate change when it's not climate change at all. It's weather manipulation. It's weather modification. And what? You're going to tell me I'm wrong? Like what? Okay, you're going like this. No, 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 that's not true. It's climate change, everyone. Hey, Tim Houston, is that why the news is saying you have sleepless nights? Are you after the uranium? Are you after the property that the uranium is on? Are you trying to strong arm people? I got it was you were trying to strong arm people because I can feel things in my body as they shift when food comes to light. See? I don't like you. You know, I have to. Are certain farmers in on this too? You know, the ones making all the money. So, am I allowed to go and apply for weather modification, or do I have to get out and do a fucking rain dance? And I'm not being sarcastic either, because I do have druid blood and the native blood, but you mock us, right? That's why you keep us down. This is misinformation. No, it's actually not. Go read your truth definition. Not being rude, but hey, better go report me because you got nothing fucking better to do with your time than sit around reporting people because they're saying something you don't like and you don't want to fucking look at it. It's right in your face. But oh right. I don't see it. Modification which it is proposed to engage. Before commencing any weather modification activity, the person proposed to carry out the activity shall inform the administrator in writing. And I said it, like, why aren't people like, this should be public knowledge.